Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another Total Extreme Wrestling video. We are 2 weeks out from the draft, we're 2 weeks after the draft, so the new rosters are really starting to take shape now. They're really starting to hit their stride. We've got a big week planned, but not necessarily for Raw and Smackdown. It's for NXT UK is the big week, I tell you now. It is like a pay-per-view show. We're bringing NXT UK. We've got a steel cage match. We've got an NXT UK title match. It is a big hour of TV. But we are, of course, only 2 weeks away from TLC. So Raw and SmackDown, I guess, are important too. And NXT, well, the NXT shows are killing it now. So hopefully that continues too. A lot to do. Let's get on with it. Monday Night Raw first. It's going to be big. Monday Night Raw this week kicks off with in-ring competition because that's the best way to start a wrestling show in a lot of the time. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. 75 rated matchup between Drew McIntyre and John Morrison. Now, this is a match I thought would do well, and it has. Mainly due to Drew McIntyre being a beast. An 86 rated performance. He won the match. Future Shock DDT in the end. I prefer the Claymore, but you do, Drew. You do, Drew. That's hard to say. 61 for John Morrison. And this is all building towards what will be a tag team match, hopefully at the pay-per-view between The Miz and John Morrison against Drew and Keith Lee. We'll get to it. 75. Drew McIntyre may have won the match, but John Morrison has help out there. And post-match, the numbers game catches up with Drew McIntyre. An 80 rated segment, so it's done very well. The Miz and Morrison attack Drew McIntyre. They leave him down and out, 2-on-1. Drew McIntyre needs help because at the moment he looks quite limited, you could say. I'll get there. 80 rated segment. Let's move on. We went backstage where Styles is giving Theory and Garza a bit of a pep talk. Last week it didn't go their way at all, with Garza and Theory both not quite doing what Styles wanted him to do. And Styles is continuing to act, well, dickish. He's continuing to act like a dick in this. Garza and Theory are hopefully getting some sympathy, actually, as these two men there are trying to help. But Styles is on. He only cares about himself. That's the main thing. But what actually happens is Christian comes in and says that after last week, where you got yourself involved in the main event, you've got a triple threat coming at the pay-per-view. But tonight, you've got 6-man tag action. So I hope you guys can all get on the same page. It'll be you three versus Braun Strowman and Raw's newest tag team, which needs a name, Tommaso Ciampa and Daniel Bryan. 72, good segment. Another good segment backstage here. Keith Lee has approached The Miz and John Morrison. Keith Lee has sort of argued backstage, calling them cowards, saying what you did out there was cowardly. I heard what you said last week, and jealousy rears its ugly head a lot. I suppose it does a lot with you, The Miz, but it's okay. It's okay, but that was cowardly. He's starting to make enemies for himself, Keith Lee. Starting to make enemies. 70, good backstage segment. Not so great here, but it's about what you'd expect. Sammy Guevara defeats Shane Thorne. A good win for Sammy on Raw. It's going to lead to something post-match. But yeah, last week he was attacked by the Artist Collective, remember. He was part of that rampage that the Artist Collective did on Raw. 55 from Sammy Guevara, 31 from Shane Thorne. Post-match, Sammy gets on the mic and makes a challenge to another Sammy. That's right, Sammy Guevara says after last week he wants Sami Zayn in the ring 1-on-1, and he wants it next week. 43 for this promo. Sammy needs some promo work. He does need work. This hasn't done well either, really. 55. The Hurt Business got a win as the Raw Tag Team Champions. Only got 5 minutes, so I just wanted to get a quick win for the Hurt Business. Bobby Lashley, 64, was the best of the lot. Damian Priest underperformed, really, here, as did the likes of Metalik and Carrillo, but that's 5. 55. Simple stuff. We'll move on. Backstage, Sammy Guevara is sort of, I don't know, you can say he's I don't know, he's dressed, he's ready to leave, he's finished for the night when he's attacked again by the Artist Collective. That's right, Zayn, Cesaro and Elias beat him down backstage, and Zayn says, I heard your little challenge out there. Well, guess what? Next week you want me? I accept. If you get there. 54. Yeah, Sammy versus Sammy next week. Who is the real Sammy? Next week, we'll also see Kofi Kingston take on Bobby Lashley in the build towards the pay-per-view. It kind of gives away the match later, but we'll get to it. Kofi Kingston, Bobby Lashley next week. Becky Lynch got a promo on Nia Jax for 72. She says she wishes Nia would just admit it so she didn't just have to keep getting her ass kicked each week. Becky Lynch has a gimmick getting stale. What is that? What is that? I need to remember that. I'm gonna type it here. I'm gonna type it so I can remember it. Right. That is terrible though. She's the man. Anyway, 72, good promo. The Artist Collective were in action, by the way, against Apollo and Cedric. We set this up on main event last week. Apollo and Cedric put the challenge out there, and they lost. So the Artist Collective are having another good night here. Cesaro and Elias defeat Apollo and Cedric. Cesaro defeating Apollo with a sharpshooter after interference from Sami Zayn, who made sure his boys got the win. Cesaro with a 71, by the way, really carrying this one. 57 apiece for the faces. Elias, 65. Good chemistry for both teams. Good Raw Tag Team Division matchup. I am pleased. Post-match, they continue to beat down Cedric and Alexander, really putting the boots to Cedric and Alexander. When out comes Rey Mysterio, he was part of the onslaught last week. He runs out to try and make the save. The Artist Collective stand tall again. A 60 rate segment, not as great, but the Artist Collective are getting a bit of a boost here since going to Raw. I quite like it. Daniel Bryan and Tommaso Ciampa are backstage talking about the main event tonight. This is their first match, technically as a tag team. And you know what? Bryan says that we need to set an example tonight. We need to set a standard tonight of what we are. And then they start sort of throwing names for their tag team out there. We're not quite sure. We've been talking in the chat. We really can't come up with some good stuff. Particularly, so we need help from the comment section in YouTube as well. 68. It's a pretty good segment, actually. Okay, this has done a lot better than I thought it would. That's right, he's back. Kenny. Not that Kenny. Andrade defeats Kenny from the Spirit Squad. We brought him in for one night only so Andrade could beat somebody. We didn't really know who we could put Andrade up against in the end. So he gets a win here, squashes him. Absolutely squashes him as well. Destroys him. 73. Great performance from Andrade. And that plays into the post-match angle, post-match sort of promo. Andrade is talking about Braun Strowman. He says last week he left the giant laying, and that's exactly what's going to happen at TLC, because what he just did is a better squash match than Braun Strowman has ever done. And I'll even have him say squash match. He can say that he squashed him and he can get away with it. But Andrade making a bit of a meta reference to Braun Strowman's major push. Jinder Mahal cut a promo hyping up his match against Keith Lee. That's next. We announced it last week. Keith Lee versus Jinder Mahal tonight. Jinder Mahal, a former WWE champion, 52. We'll move on. Jinder versus Keith Lee then is next, I think it is. And it gets us a 73. Well done, big boy Keith Lee. His gimmick's getting stale as well. Brilliant. We're at that time of the year, I think. So Keith needs a gimmick change or a gimmick twist a little bit. It is what it is. He's just come to Raw, debuted, and he's already stale. That's great. 68 Keith Lee, 53 Jinder Mahal. Keith Lee gets the win, as you'd expect. 73, but it's post-match where the angle happens as Keith Lee's rushed in his celebration. He is not as in he's hurried up, as in he is beaten down by The Miz and John Morrison for a 70. They attacked Drew McIntyre earlier. They've attacked Keith Lee here. Can you see where we're going with this 70 rated segment? Pretty good stuff, actually. Pretty good stuff. We've still got a lot to get through here. The Hurt Business are backstage cutting a promo on the AOP or the New Day, because it's New Day versus AOP next. Christian comes in saying he's glad that they will be watching closely because the winner of the next match will be the Hurt Business's opponent at TLC. The winners get a tag team opportunity. So who gets the tag team opportunity? Well, we kind of spoiled it by announcing the match earlier. That's right. The New Day defeat AOP for a 75. Wow, that might be AOP's best match so far. The New Day defeat AOP. What are my changes? Oh, yes, we needed to change the gimmicks of AOP, so we'll do that now. Great one for Akam, so that's good. Just Akam. just take him, apparently. 75, really good match, though. New Day carry it. Kofi Kingston carries it, really. 79, 66 from Xavier Woods. 59 from Razor, 58 from Akam. So they did play their part, and a good match, for the Raw Tag Division, which is starting to pick up steam. That was an idea that I really wanted to happen when I did the draft. I wanted to improve the Raw Tag Team Division. I feel like we've done that. Shayna Baszler got a promo on Charlotte Flair for 74. She says tonight she will destroy the Queen. Charlotte Flair will not even get to TLC. She will destroy the Queen. She'll even destroy her throne too in the tag match later tonight, 74. Just hyping it up. Hyping it up. Bayley was in action, defeating Liv Morgan. She's moved to Raw, of course, in the draft. We haven't done a lot with her so far. I do have a few planned, but right now it's a little bit on hold. It will make sense eventually. Bayley, 59. Liv Morgan, 49. Yeah, two women to get out there and hopefully have a good match. And they've had a good match, 65. I'm pleased with that. Aleister Black cut a promo on Seth Rollins backstage, hyping up the US title TLC match at TLC. What I had in my head here is that Aleister Black has got a dumpster fire happening, or a bin fire type thing, and he's burning Seth Rollins' shirts. Just a little bit of a message that he considers him to be he considers him to be trash, basically. I'm struggling with this feud. I am struggling. Braun Strowman cut a promo on AJ Styles for 74. That's better. Braun Strowman cut a promo on AJ for 74 ahead of the women's tag match. We'll do that next. And a big win and a great match for an 82. A big win for the faces, but Shayna is protected. Let's go through it. Charlotte Flair 71, Becky 72, Shayna 83, Nia 52. Nia loses here to Charlotte Flair after bad miscommunication between Jax and Shayna. Basically, Shayna walked out on her partner. She's the arrogant heel champion. She ain't here for this. She ain't here for it. And she loses. But the main thing is Becky and Charlotte, on the same page for the first time in a long while, win. Post-match, I like the idea of them doing a tentative sort of cautious fist bump. Charlotte's ready to do it happily. But Becky's like, okay, we'll go with it. I quite like it. 82. Yeah. Next week, then, we will see Bayley versus Charlotte Flair on the go-home show for TLC. Charlotte Flair has got a big task ahead of her at TLC with Shayna Baszler in the championship on the line, but she's going to have to watch out next week because Bayley is no slouch. That's not all. We'll also see Drew McIntyre take on The Miz. McIntyre looking for revenge. He beat Morrison earlier, but he was laid out, so he wants The Miz next week. We went backstage where there is a bit of a commotion happening. That's right, they can't be stopped again. Becky and Nia are brawling around ringside. Christian runs in and says, you know what, that's it. I've had enough of this. You cannot carry on like this. Yes, I understand this match was meant for the pay-per-view, but we can't wait that long. Next week, it is happening. Becky Lynch, Nia Jax, and you know what? Let's make it a street fight. Big match built for next week. Massive match built for next week, potentially. 62 segments, not great. Andrade's on commentary for the main event. He's going to watch very closely, you would think. 71 for that. The main event then. Hopefully, a good match. I'm hoping for a good match. It's Braun, Bryan and Ciampa against Styles, Garza and Theory. It gets us an 83. So it was the best match on the card. So that works that it's a main event. Austin Theory needs a gimmick change, which is great. But yeah, Tommaso Ciampa 65. Daniel Bryan 86, by the way, was the best man in the match. D-Bry is back, everybody. 84 for Braun Strowman, 65 for Garza. So Garza and Ciampa on the same level, which is quite interesting. 62 for Theory, AJ Styles, 84. The finish of the match is quite simple. The faces win, for sure. But the three men involved in the WWE Championship match at the pay-per-view aren't involved in the finish at all here. So you can say the idea that Andrade gets involved and lures both Braun and AJ to the backstage area. They brawl backstage, but that plays into the finish where Ciampa and Bryan really start to kick-start their tag team, and they are really showing tag team chemistry, and Ciampa makes Garza submit. Simple as. That's what happens in the ring. We then go backstage where for a 90 rated segment, so that's a hell of a way to end the show, they are brawling around the backstage area. Now, who's going to win a brawl in the backstage area? Of course, it's Braun Strowman. And what I've got in my head here is sort of you can have a stage area, maybe in the car park type bit, and Braun Strowman with a double choke slam throws Styles and Andrade off the stage area. They'll be fine, but it makes Braun look like a badass. So, and it's a big time segment, 90 rated segment. Good stuff. Good Raw, 83. Very good Raw. Jesus Christ, that's a very good Raw. It says a lot about your big main event, but wow, that's worked. Great main event, great tag match, great tag match, great match. I mean, it's done better than I ever hoped it would. Raw is rolling. Main event this week kicks off with AOP. They lost on Raw. I wanted to get a win back for them here, so they defeat Akira Tozawa and Titus O'Neil because they're doing nothing. 61, 57 from Razor, 55 from Akam, 49 47 apiece for the faces. Solid stuff for main event. AOP get a win. Move on. They cut a promo on the New Day, say you may have beaten us on Monday Night Raw, but you need to watch your back because they're not done with the Raw Tag Team Championships. Bayley could have promo on Charlotte Flair, hyping up the match set for next week on Raw. 49, solid, but could be better. Big E could have promo on Bray Wyatt. We're going to get more of this on SmackDown, but basically Big E is not happy at losing the Intercontinental Championship last week. Yeah, spoiler if you haven't watched it. 74, SmackDown is going to be interesting. Rhea Ripley defeated Lana for 56. This wasn't great. Rhea Ripley has let me down a bit here. 50 from her. Lana has outperformed Rhea Ripley. Well. Anyway, Rhea wins. Move on. Jey Uso could have promo and Jeff Hardy hyping up their tables match this week on SmackDown. It's Jey Uso versus Jeff Hardy in a tables match. 68. Good stuff. 70 for a Sonya Deville promo on Rhea Ripley. She says that it wasn't impressive earlier against Lana, but Sonya Deville and Miss Money in the Bank is impressive. 70. That's good promo from Sonya, actually. The Miz and Morrison got a promo on Keith Lee and Drew McIntyre, bragging about beating them down on Raw. 69. I'm moving quickly because it's main event. We did a match between Murphy and Apollo Crews for 62. This is pretty good, actually, considering you look at the popularities and the performances. 59 from Murphy, 54 from Apollo Crews, 62. I'll take that, and a win for Murphy. We got Murphy a win, which is good. The reason this match happened is because on main event, Raw superstars are allowed. SmackDown superstars are allowed. So if Murphy's there, Aleister Black is there. So we managed to do a bit of storyline stuff for this feud, which is quite nice because I've kind of ruined it a bit. Aleister Black lays out Murphy as a message to Seth Rollins here. Seth's not there tonight because it's main event. You can say Seth doesn't care about backing up Murphy here. But Aleister Black takes that opportunity. Black mass, boom. Message sent, 72. Randy Orton could have promo on Ali. They go one-on-one this week. On SmackDown, that should be very good. Orton ended last week's SmackDown, of course, by laying out the new Intercontinental Champion Ricochet with the RKO. Ali, Ricochet's tag partner, is looking for revenge. 72, good promo from Randall Keith. And the main event then has really disappointed, and I'm sorry to say that the streak is over of good main events, and the big dog has finally let us down. A 67. Wow. I'm going to blame Elias, to be fair, because Roman Reigns put a 77 in and Elias put in a 59. Elias did better in a tag match on Raw. Interesting. Reigns wins. 10 minutes in. Reigns wins. Spear. Big dog. Ooh. Yeah. 67. Fine. 68 main event. It's main event, so it's not too bad, actually, but we got wins for Murphy. We got a win for Reigns. We got a win for Rhea and a win for AOP. It did the business. NXT this week kicks off with one of the matches we advertised last week. Candice LeRae defeats Mercedes Martinez. Good NXT Women's Division match here to build both women up. Candice LeRae 52, Mercedes Martinez 37. But the finish is interesting because the interference from Indy Hartwell means Candice gets the win. That is right. We're doing it the way are here. Now, the way at the moment are just Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Worth mentioning. Just Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Maybe eventually we'll bring Gargano in. But I like the idea of these two as a tag team going forward. I think it could work for us. 37. It'll build Indy Hartwell up. That's the main thing. The Big Beefy Boys cut a promo on the grizzled young veterans tonight. Grizzled Young Veterans get their rematch. Of course, it is a tag team championship match tonight. 52 for the promo. Yeah. I don't want to say really because it's not good, but it's not bad. Adam Cole got a promo on Roderick Strong for 67. That's not great from Adam Cole. He's usually hitting the 73, 74, so that's a little low, but it's fine. Let's hopefully it'll do better later on. Adam Cole cut the promo on Roderick Strong, saying about it, no matter how much that the Undisputed Era want to beat him down, Adam Cole will keep fighting. They will keep fighting. Roderick Strong was in action against Jake Atlas for 60. This is a little low as well. 59 from Roderick Strong, 45 from Atlas. I get that Strong needs building up a little bit, and that's what we're trying to do here. The Super Double Knee Gutbuster. Get a new name, Roderick Strong, because that's awful. 60. Fine. Yeah, we'll move on. Post-match, big angle for a 70. That's better. As Roderick Strong celebrating before the Undisputed Era can really get in the ring with him, Adam Cole sprints down and, yeah, takes Roderick Strong out with the last call. He escapes through the crowd. The Undisputed Era don't get their hands on Adam Cole this week. Adam Cole gets one over on the Undisputed Era. Dakota Kai got a promo on La Luchador for 63. Now, La Luchador, Dakota says it's obviously Tegan Nox. It is. Spoilers. But Dakota says tonight the whole world will see because she vows to unmask La Luchador. How dare she? 63, good promo. Dakota was in action against Casey Catanzaro for 52. This is, again, solid without being impressive. 53 from Dakota, 36 from Casey. A good win. 8 minutes. Simple stuff. We can move on quite quickly, actually, because it's the post-match segment that's important. So Dakota Kai is in the ring, but she knows what was going to happen. She knew La Luchador is here to attack her. So Raquel Gonzalez was waiting in the wings, and Raquel Gonzalez attacked La Luchador from behind. 52 for the segment, and yes, we did it. We unmasked La Luchador, and obviously it ended up being Tegan Nox, who of course has this stipulation she cannot get a title match while Dakota Kai is champion. Well, we're going to turn that on its head here. We are going to announce the match for TakeOver. So Dakota says, don't worry about being unmasked, Tegan, because she's spoken to William Regal, and she's agreed to give Tegan Nox a title match at TakeOver. She's agreed to waive the stipulation in favour of another stipulation. So at NXT TakeOver, whenever we do it, it's still up in the air, potentially February, potentially Rumble weekend. It's going to be for the Women's Championship. It's going to be Dakota Kai against Tegan Nox. And it's going to be, if Tegan can't win the championship, she has to leave NXT. Dakota Kai is happy to ramp up the stipulations here. And Tegan Nox is, well, after she wakes up, she might be a bit shell-shocked. 52. Good and bad, I guess. Santos Escobar got a promo on Lince Dorado for 37. Santos is really low on the card, so we are trying to build him up. It's not bad. Again, 37. Not great either. It's one of those shows, isn't it? Lince Dorado is also doing the same. I forgot about the Lince Dorado promo. It may have been placed afterwards. Anyway, that's your spoiler there. Santos Escobar is the new NXT Cruiserweight Champion. I'm not going to do the whole and new because I've ruined it, so that's fine. Santos Escobar wins. 9 minutes, and what's important to note here, you can say this in the Santos Escobar promo, is that William Regal has banned Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde from ringside. So Santos has to go it alone, because I like the idea of Santos Escobar winning the championship on his own and proving how good he is in that ring. Heels, yes, can rely on crafty heel tactics, but sometimes they've got to do it when it counts. Santos Escobar does it when it counts here. 52 from him is really good, actually. 59 from Lince, and a 63. That's better than I expected it to be. Santos Escobar, your new NXT Cruiserweight Champion. Great stuff. There's the Lince Dorado promo. That's, yeah, wrong placing. Move on. Afterwards, after the match, we had Lince Dorado getting to his feet. Santos Escobar celebrate with the championship. And out comes Bandido. Bandido debuted on NXT last week. Bandido comes in and makes the title reference. And these two sort of, all three stand there looking at the championship. Santos may have won it tonight, but they are not done. And there's a division brewing here. 51, fine. Next week, then, we will see The Way, that's Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, of course, against Mercedes Martinez and her partner for next week, Deonna Purrazzo, 23, whatever. That's not all. We'll also see a big tag main event. It's Matt Riddle and Adam Cole against Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. That's next week, and hopefully it will steal the goddamn show. Right, Matt Riddle cut a promo on Finn Balor for 73. This is good from Riddle. This is much better from Riddle. He says the title will be the Bros Prize at TakeOver. Good stuff. Cameron Grimes cut a backstage promo for 46. Not as good stuff. Cameron Grimes says he's fed up of being treated so badly. He will be a star because he believes in himself. Yes, I'm going to give him a little bit of a push. 46, fine. Pete Dunne got a promo on Johnny Gargano for 70. Good stuff from Dunne here. Hyping up the main event, which of course Dunne's involved in, and is Gargano. The next match, though, is for the NXT Tag Team Championships. This one will get the big intro, I suppose, shall we? It is the big beefy boys, Dominik Dijakovic and Bronson Reed, defending against the former champions, of course, grizzled young veterans. Now, it should be worth noting, I probably should have mentioned it earlier in their promo, the big beefy boys sort of insinuate that maybe it was grizzled young veterans who took out War Raiders last week. Of course, War Raiders were attacked in the parking lot by a mystery tag team. Maybe it was grizzled young veterans. So who is going to walk away with the championship? Your winners. And still NXT Tag Team Champions, the big beefy boys for 68, which is pretty good. Really good, actually. But do you think I was going to change championship so early? I was not. Zach Gibson, a 68, carried it through. Dominik Dijakovic, 61, and Bronson Reed, 53, are improving. James Drake, 50. James Drake. God damn it. Still, good match. Good match. And now the NXT Tag Team division is going to take a big boost from next week. There is going to be a debut in NXT Tag Team next week. That's all I'll say. Next week, though, we will see Cameron Grimes take on Tony Nese. Build it. Come on, we'll build it. So we've built a lot for next week, but that's not all. Bandido will be taking on Oni Lorcan. Oni, though, cuts a promo on Bandido here and explains why, because Oni has asked for the rematch. He says last week he let himself down. Next week, he will prove how good he is in the rematch against Bandido. 24. Not a great promo. Okay, the main event, though, might just save the show. An 80 rated match. Karrion Kross, Gargano, and Dexter Lumis defeat Pete Dunne and Breezango. And it's interesting to know Gargano has pinned Pete Dunne. Ignore the Candice LeRae interference. I'll tell you what happens. Basically, I quite like the idea that Karrion Kross, as this big monster heel, has actually fought off Breezango, and they fight up and out of the arena. So Pete Dunne's left on his own with Gargano and his bodyguard. There's only one finish there, and Pete Dunne has to do the honours, I'm afraid. I don't like doing it, but it makes sense in the storyline. I think he's protected because he was left on his own as well. 84 from Gargano, 76 from Karrion Kross, pretty good. 74 from Pete Dunne, pretty good. The rest are all middling, but it's about what you'd expect. But post-match, there's a reason it's the main event. Post-match, there's a big, big angle. So Pete Dunne is left on his own, and after the win, Gargano and Lumis decide to put the boot to the North American champion. So he needs someone to make the save. Now, Matt Riddle is in the building, but he is wrapped up in his own things with the NXT Championship. Tyler Bate is not here. Trent Seven is not here. So they need someone new. They need Pentagon Jr. Now, yes, I've signed Pentagon Jr. AEW fans are killing me in the comments, but Pentagon Jr. is here in NXT. I couldn't sign his brother, so it's only Pentagon Jr. So I'm bringing him in as this upper mid-card main event babyface on NXT. So it makes sense that he's going to make the save for Pete Dunne here. 78, really good segment to end the show. And hopefully Pentagon Jr. will be a big, big boost to the brand. I think he could be fantastic. That gives us a 72 rated NXT. So the main event really did help us out here because the rest kind of struggled. I mean, the two title matches were pretty good. So the main matches on the card hit it. But Roderick Strong I was hoping better for, but it's fine. Good NXT. Okay, we open up with a bit of nonsense in a way, in the sense if we go backstage and they are brawling already. Noam Dar and the Ojmo are having to be held apart, but Noam Dar takes the time and the advantage to beat down the Ojmo. He sort of works on the leg, you could say. He throws one of those box things that they always have backstage, and it sort of rolls it into the Ojmo's leg. 34, it's not the greatest, but it's fine. The point is the Ojmo's softened up, and he's asked, look, you shouldn't take this match, because the steel cage match is opening the show, by the way. You shouldn't take the match. The Ojmo isn't going to back down, though. He is a fighting babyface. He doesn't back down. And he wins the steel cage match too for a 44. So this is okay, actually. The Ojmo's actually off his game, but a 44 still. 38 from Noam Dar. We end the storyline with this one. These two will be done with each other now. And I think this has worked as a storyline. It's really boosted the Ojmo. Noam Dar's not really suffered too much from it. Good stuff. The Ojmo wins. The Ojmo will now move on to hopefully bigger and better things. He wins the cage match. He escapes the cage as well. Worth mentioning. Joe Hendry and Eddie Dennis, the Prestige, the NXT UK Tag Team Champions, cut a promo on their opponents tonight, the Black Country Boys. They say they're pathetic, just like those Welsh dragons. They will never be as classy as the Prestige. 52, good promo. Pretty good promo. Martina cut a promo on Zia Brookside for 38. Saying she just wants to send her back home to her dad. Makes the challenge next week. No disqualification match. Building it. Kaylee Ray was in action defeating Sadie Gibbs for 28. This isn't great. Another gimmick getting stale that needs changing, which is a shame. Julia got involved in the finish and interfered to help Kaylee Ray, which, as we'll see post-match, didn't go down well with the champ. She says stay out of her business. She didn't need the help, and now we're starting to put a little bit of tension between the two, which is nice for a 38. Next week, Julia will be in action against Piper Niven. But that's not all. We did a segment with Killian Dane in the ring. He's talking about where he goes next after losing his battle for the NXT UK Championship. Out come Wolfgang and Mark Coffey, of course. That's Gallus. And they look to try and take out Killian Dane here. They don't like Killian Dane coming in and getting opportunities. They try to take out Killian Dane, but out for the save comes A-Kid, which is a bit of a callback to when we brought Killian Dane in. Killian Dane saved A-Kid. Interesting. 30 segment. Next week we'll do Dane and A-Kid against Gallus. So 21, whatever. But the match itself will hopefully be pretty good. That's not all, though. We'll also be doing Tyler Bate against Alexander Wolf next week. He got a promo on Wolf, hyping it up for a 61. Good stuff from Tyler Bate. Bate and Alexander Wolf next week. The Prestige defeated the Black Country Boys in about 8 minutes. Joe Hendry making Dave Mastiff submit, which is pretty impressive. 57 for the match is really good, actually. 65 from Trent Seven carried it. 45 and 49 for the heels. 31 for Dave. 57 is pretty good. Pretty good indeed. Good stuff. Post-match outcome, the Welsh Dragons. And they say, well, fine, we've put our case across with physical actions, but let's do it, I don't know, a classy way, a prestigious way, as you guys like to be. They put the hand out. They say, we challenge you to a tag team championship match. And we want those belts. But they do it in such a gentlemanly way, a prestigious way, let's say, the Prestige reluctantly have no choice really but to accept, because it's what they preach, isn't it? So yeah, 41. The Welsh Dragons using the mind games here, using the mind games to get what they want. Okay, where are we going next? We're going to have a Chris Brooks promo on Volta for 68, hyping up the main event. Then a Volta promo on Chris Brooks for 71. That's good. Okay, the main event is for the NXT United Kingdom Championship. It is Volta, the legendary champion at this point, defending against Chris Brooks. It's heel versus heel. Will it do well? Who will walk out as champion? Let's find out. Your winner. And still NXT UK champion, Volta. I'm not taking the belt off him in a heel versus heel match. Come on, guys. 66, though. Really good match for NXT UK. I was hoping it might just get to 70, not quite, but 66 is good. Volta 68, Chris Brooks 57. Volta keeps the belt. It's his 10th defense of the title. very good. Volta win, stands tall to end the show. 64 rated NXT. NXT UK even. NXT UK has been pretty good lately. Pretty good. I'll take that. Finally, Smackdown then, and it kicks off with an 82 rated segment between the two men involved in the Universal Championship match at TLC. Of course, Bray Wyatt, the champion, Big E, the challenger. Let's talk it through. Big E comes out furious after last week where The Fiend cost him the Intercontinental Championship, and Big E is not happy about it. He wants The Fiend right now, and on the screen comes the Firefly Funhouse. Now Bray Wyatt comes out, or he comes on the screen in his Bray Wyatt form, not The Fiend, and he says, "Look, Big E, I thought you were all about fun and jokes, but you weren't laughing last week, were you? That's quite funny, really, because he has decided something. He has decided that you do not get to wear gold. The Fiend has decided that Big E will not be a champion. That hasn't gone well with Big E. He says if he sees Wyatt tonight, if he sees The Fiend or Wyatt tonight, he will destroy them." We're setting stuff up. Should be pretty good. 82, good stuff. Io Shirai defeated Natalya for a 71. This is a really good match, actually, for the SmackDown Women's Division. Io Shirai bringing the big stuff with a 69. Natalya, 52. I thought it was a good opponent for Io Shirai to beat, actually. Natalya, good in-ring talent. I thought they put on a good match, and they have for a 71. A submission, a cloverleaf did the business. Io looks strong going into the pay-per-view because she's got a women's title match. So out comes Sasha Banks. Io Shirai last week talked a bit of crap about Sasha Banks. A 63 rated segment. Out comes Sasha after Shirai says that her days as champion are numbered. So Sasha comes out for the showdown, and this time there are no words. Last week it was all about Sasha's respect for Io Shirai, but that's gone now. That has gone, and they brawl around the ringside area, and in the end Io Shirai has to escape through the crowd. The respect here has gone. 63, pretty good segment. Okay, we went backstage to JBL's office where Big E is complaining to the SmackDown general manager. He says he has to go into TLC with a championship. He has to prove the Fiend wrong, and he wants Ricochet tonight for the Intercontinental Championship. JBL says that can't happen. I'm sorry, that cannot happen. I've already had it confirmed. At TLC, it is going to be Ricochet defending the championship against Randy Orton. However, how's about this? If you can find yourself a partner, I will give you a tag team championship opportunity next week. Tonight, Jey Uso's in a singles action. Next week, you can have a championship opportunity. Before Big E can leave, though, in comes Kevin Owens. Owens says that he overheard what he says, and while he may not like Big E or respect Big E, one thing he can do is team with Big E and win tag team gold. Kevin Owens offering to be the partner, but Big E says no. Big E says absolutely not. He shuts Kevin Owens down, which starts an argument and a brawl between the two of them. And JBL says, fine, you guys have got issues, settle them tonight in the main event. That's right, Big E, Kevin Owens tonight in the main event. Roman Reigns defeated Shelton Benjamin for 72. They didn't click, interestingly, but they had a still pretty good match, so I will take it. Just under 10 minutes. Reigns beats Spear. Reigns beats Shelton with a spear. You get the point. Reigns wins. It is what it is. It's like we've gone back to 2015. He wins. We did a backstage segment between Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley, who are saying that after last week's squabbles, they need to get on the same page. They've got Lacey and Carmella tonight. They need to be on the same page so we can handle these changes, which I think is slight gimmick changes. We're going to turn Bianca into a badass, which hopefully is good. That has worked. So, yeah, these two, we'll see what happens later on, but hopefully it will be a good matchup. Speaking of their opponents, Lacey and Carmella are actually in a conference room. We can't hear what's happening in the conference room, but all we know is they're in a conference room on a conference call. Who are they speaking to? We don't know, but we do know that they come out of the room looking confident and talking about how they will prove their value tonight. 53. Interesting. Let's change the... no, we don't change that. We haven't officially turned them heel yet, but that is where they're going, obviously. The match itself then got a 60 rated segment. We only gave them 6 minutes because we're trying to pack in a lot tonight. So I was trying to tell the story and actually did a pretty good job of it. 48 from Rhea Ripley, 51 from Bianca Belair, Carmella 54, 46 from Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans pinned Rhea Ripley. Ignore the foreign object. I don't know why it's ignored what I said, but actually what happens here is majorly important for the story, because out comes Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville comes out to distract Bianca Belair, actually, and Bianca Belair chases her up the ramp, leaving Rhea Ripley alone. Lacey gets the win. Rhea Ripley has been abandoned by her partner. 60. Ricochet got a promo on Randy Orton for 68. He says that, you know what, at TLC, he's got a hell of a big match on his hand. But Randy Orton is a snake. Randy Orton cannot be trusted. That's no surprise, because everyone knows what Randy Orton's like. But what will be no surprise as well is that Ricochet will walk out of TLC as the WWE Intercontinental Champion. We'll see. 68. Good promo. Backstage in JBL's office again, we have Belair and Ripley now arguing between themselves after Belair seemingly walked away from Ripley. She was distracted by Sonya, of course. JBL said, you know what, this is quite simple. You guys are rising stars in this division. I want to make this division as competitive as I can. But you guys squabbling isn't helping me. So how's about this? Bianca Belair, you've got an issue with Sonya Deville. Rhea Ripley, you've got an issue with Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville seemingly has an issue with both of you. But not just that, you both have an issue with each other. And that issue is always about the Smackdown Women's Championship. So next week, I am booking it. A triple threat match. It's going to be Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and Sonya Deville. And the winner will get a Smackdown Women's title opportunity on the Smackdown after TLC. Important. 59. Good stuff. King Corbin defeated Angelo Dawkins in just under 5 minutes. Again, a short match here just to move the storyline along. Ended days after a distraction from Sheamus. King Corbin stands tall. And afterwards, the Leviathans, which is the new name for King Corbin and Sheamus' tag team, destroy the Street Profits here with a 50 rated segment. Shout out to the comment section for that name, because that is a very good one. A very good one. Speaking of very good names from the comment section for the tag teams, that's right, Alpha Enigma cut a promo on the Usos. Jeff Hardy and Chad Gable cut a promo on the Usos ahead of the tag team potential challenge. We don't know whether it'll be against the Usos yet, but the Usos are the champions at the moment. We do know it's going to be a tables match tonight. Jeff Hardy and the Usos, Jeff Hardy and Jey Uso to be exact, in a tables match, gets us 57. That is not good. They didn't click at all, and it showed in their performances. That might need to be changed. That's harsh. We had a tables match. I tried to do a mayhem match, and it's not worked. It's really not worked. The main thing is Jeff Hardy wins because he's got more experience in tables matches, and it made sense. Disappointing. Seth Rollins got a backstage promo. Well, actually, no, this is an in-ring promo, I would say. And he's talking about Aleister Black's message on Main Event. He says he took out Murphy as a message. But guess what? Seth Rollins can send his own messages. And part of that is right now he is putting the United States Championship on the line in an open challenge. Seth Rollins with an impromptu open challenge. It's accepted by Otis. Yes, it's accepted by Otis, your winner. And still United States Champion Seth Rollins. This is technically his first defense of the title. We weren't dropping the belt to Otis yet. No. Seth wins. Ignore the pedigree, because the message that Seth sends to Aleister Black here is simple. He hits the black mass and wins with the black mass. Short match. Didn't need a lot more. Otis, he's not a really, really great opponent for Seth, but Seth did enough. Randy Orton cut a promo on Ricochet for 68. Orton's got Mustafa Ali tonight, Ricochet's partner. And Randy Orton vows to take Ali out of the reckoning. Orton and Ali then, I'm hoping it'll be a good match, actually. And it is an 80 rated match, but Mustafa Ali sustained a pot fracture. I don't know what that is. I will have a look. Interestingly, Orton said he was going to take Ali out. Well, he seems to have done that. An 82 from Orton, Ali 64. The RKO did the business. The post-match segment, though, is what was important here for a 71. Ali, before Ricochet we can say that Ricochet wasn't out there because Ali wanted to go it alone. And Randy Orton takes this opportunity to really work on Ali. He handcuffs Ricochet to the ring ropes when he runs out in the end. It was a ploy from Orton. He knew Ricochet would run out, so he takes advantage, handcuffs him to the ropes, and makes Ricochet watch as Mustafa Ali is booted in the head. He's punted. Randy Orton punts Mustafa Ali. So if he is out for a while, that is a good storyline reason. 71. Kevin Owens got a promo on Big E for 74. He says Big E needs to Big E needs to take what's given to him. Big E needs to take the opportunities in front of him, because he had an opportunity to win the tag team titles next week. Now he's got the opportunity to get his arse kicked tonight. 74. The match itself then, KO and Big E in the main event. 78. So it's good. Not quite as good as Orton and Ali, but that's still very good. And as you can see, Kevin Owens gets the win by countout. Big E is attacked by Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt getting himself involved again in Big E's business, and Big E was counted out, so it protects Big E really for me. Kevin Owens 76, Big E 78. Good performances, good main event. The post-match angle to end the show gets us an 86. That's really good. As you can see, Bray Wyatt took stunt bumps. So Big E and Bray are brawling around the ringside area, and Big E, well, that's right, they fight to the top of the Titantron. It's what I've got in my head. They fight to the top, and Big E throws Bray Wyatt off the top of the Titantron. Like, it can be a planned bump, so you've got padding underneath where he lands, and then we see where he landed, and he's under all the rubble. But all you see is the Fiend's glove pop out. The Fiend's glove pops out of the rubble. Just teasing it. 86. Good end to the show. SmackDown gets us a 79. It's exactly what we've been doing a lot of lately. A good show. A good show. But I would say, for us to hit that next level, Hardy and the Usos in a tables match needs to be better. But I don't know. There's still a lot to like about the show. There's still a lot to like. And that's the end of the episode, ladies and gentlemen. A pretty good one again. We are rolling on and rolling on again. Make sure then you are subscribed to the channel so you can keep up to date with it all. Make sure you follow me on Twitch if you want to watch us live, usually on Tuesday night, UK time, obviously. Other things happening on the channel you'd have seen. We've reached 200 subscribers a few weeks ago, which was great. I'm not sure if the Survivor Series video has got there yet. If it has, go and watch that. And until next time, peace.